Hi everyone, we're back on the Stay Hungry podcast, Joel and Andy. Today we're going to be focusing on doing more of what you're good at. Never get tired of that theme music.
It is cool.
How are you?
Very good. Damn, said very good. Shit.
Oh, the word very.
Yeah.
Do you want to...
One of my copywriting
rules
things is the use of weak words. So I shouldn't have said very good. I should have said excellent.
The
Apologies to
Putin
that,
of
listeners.
copywriting. Sorry, I digress.
Don't apologise.
Well, I did just call you Putin.
Oh my god! And I just started a sentence with "don't" after I've been talking to Caitlin about how you shouldn't start sentences with "don't" because people don't like being told what to do. That's literally 4 copywriting secrets within the first 20 seconds of this podcast.
And you've talked about that before, and I've remembered it. That stems from the "Don't Drink and Drive" advert that was a massive failure.
That's a good example I love using. Yeah.
From
the 70s. You around then? Yeah, you were born in the 70s, weren't you?
No, Andy.
60s.
No.
Not the 1950s, Joel. Contrary to popular belief, Joel is actually only about 23.
Well, not quite, but yeah. I just feel like I've been around a long time, ever since working with you, really.
Has it dragged? Right, what are we talking about today?
Doing more of what you're good at, which is apparently not working with you.
Looking old.
Fucking hell. Right. I'm Benjamin Button. You said you genuinely thought I looked 45 when I was younger.
What an amazing film. I remember the audience like literally gasping when they de-aged him to look around like 20, 21, just like this impossibly good-looking young man.
Yeah. Yeah, same's happening to me.
Emma sort of has never looked at me the same afterwards, really. It's almost like she feels a bit cheated.
Yeah, that poster on the bedroom ceiling's a bit much so, isn't it? Right. Anyway, doing more of what you're good at. So this is kind of like it is a marketing podcast, but it's mindset, it's growth hacking, which I hate that phrase, but it's that whole, if you're really good at 40% of your job or career or business, and yet 80% of your focus is on the 60% that you're not very good at because you want to pull it up to the standards of everything else, stop doing that. And the reason I say that is, if like we've used David Beckham in another podcast, but it's an easy reference point. David Beckham didn't concern himself with how good he was at defensive headers, or how good he was at taking throw-ins, or how good he was at goal kicks. He focused on crossing, free kicks, corners, fitness. And because those were the things that he was already gifted at. So he doubled down, he 10x'd on those things. And you can apply the same to business. So if you're a business owner and your talent is, I don't know, let's say you're a counsellor and your talent is empathy. So you're amazing at talking to people and you're amazing at extracting information from them to make them feel like they've unburdened themselves. The worst thing you could do is spend 90% of your time trying to figure out what your social media content should be.
Okay, I'm with you. So is that like, I don't know, so let's say you're good at marketing your business and you're awesome at Facebook ads and maybe awesome at video content. Do you mean focus more on that rather than I must get good at tweeting and I must get excellent at copywriting? Or
yeah, so I think we live in a world of generalists. And that's a fact. It's not an opinion. I think particularly in the Western world, we live in a world of generalists. There's very few specialists. So if you approach a marketing agency, they'll tell you all the different types of marketing they can do. And it'll be a long list. Or if you approach most sort of car mechanics garages, they'll all offer MOTs, they'll all change your tyres, they'll all do a service. But they're not the ones doing really well. Whereas we know a garage locally to us who he set up a classic car garage where people can bring their classic cars, they have the full once over, have all the plugs changed, electrics checked, oils, lubricant, yada, yada, yada. And his entire focus is on I think in this case, pre-1950 classic cars, and no interest in anything else. And he's growing the business to he's on TV now and all out of South Shropshire, so he's done really well. But there was never any intention to, well, I know how to service a car now, so I'm going to service all cars. Or I know how to service a car now, so now I'm going to really focus on power steering. It was like, no, he carried on doing what he was good at, which was, traditional combustion engine based classic cars.
Yeah, it makes me laugh when I see people, companies advertising for a marketing role. I say, must have skills covering SEO, WordPress, Shopify, copywriting, Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Pinterest, right? It's like, holy shit. You're just looking for this unbelievable marketing generalist, someone who's okay at everything, because I guarantee they won't be excellent at everything. And it's like that sort of, that person doesn't exist. What do you need? I need Facebook ads help. What do you need? I need SEO help. Well, get a Facebook ad specialist, get an SEO specialist. This the sort of one size fits all. Maybe that would have worked a few years ago.
Yeah.
But now, digital marketing especially has developed so much. You'll be better served finding someone with that specific skill, someone who has doubled down on, hey, I'm pretty good at SEO. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to learn everything I can about SEO. And maybe one other area, for example. But not, I'm going to learn, I'm pretty good at SEO already, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to learn more about copywriting. I'm going to learn more about email marketing. I'm going to learn about MailChimp. Just won't happen.
There's a few copywriters out there that have done this really well, isn't there? If you're on LinkedIn and Instagram, you'll have come across them, where obviously they could try their hand at writing ads, they could try their hand at headline writing, but they kind of focus really, they almost stay in your lane, but then turn on the afterburners kind of thing, and they've absolutely gone full bore at what they're really, really good at.
Do you think part of that is because, as business owners, we want to be good at everything? We can't deal with the fact that I know this about my business, but I'm weak in that area, and it bugs the shit out of me. What keeps me awake at night isn't that my Facebook ads rock. It's the fact that I know my email marketing could be better, so I need to learn everything I can about email marketing.
Yeah, so there's sort of two sides to that. I think you're absolutely right that as a business owner, chances are you've got the drive to be pretty good at everything. That's a risk. But the other side of it is identifying the things that you should be doing more of, rather than the things you should be getting better at. So if you've got the data in your business to say, well, let's pick any business. So we're generating a lead on Facebook at £8 per lead, and every 3 leads results in an inquiry, and every 2 inquiries results in a sale. So what's that? 3, 2, so 6. So 6 times 8, £48. So £48 per sale.
I just work that out like that.
Yeah, like Rain Man.
That's amazing.
Um,
I watched Rain Man the other day.
On the other side, it might be you're running LinkedIn ads as well.
Kmart sucks.
And they're running at £45 a lead, and for every 2 of those, you get a conversion, so £90 per conversion. But you might have never looked at it like that. You might have been thinking, well, I wish I could get my LinkedIn lead ads down to the price that I'm paying for my Facebook ads. So you spent all your focus and all your time on trying to improve your LinkedIn ads, when what you should have done is just spent more on Facebook ads.
Should you have a quick aside into LinkedIn ads?
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Average, would you say, I don't know, business to business comes to you, says, Joel, I want you to do some LinkedIn ads for me.
Fine, if you've got a testing budget of £100 a day.
Okay.
Pretty much. Of course you can run LinkedIn ads with less than that. Can you run LinkedIn ads effectively with less than that? I don't think so at this moment in time. But
Think Microsoft are on the case?
I think they've put an awful lot of effort into trying to help people get organic traction. and it's starting to bite them in the arse now because LinkedIn's turned into what Facebook was. And I don't mean, I'm definitely not at the church of, oh, LinkedIn's become Facebook. Social media platforms can become whatever they want. That's the whole point. But if you open up the organic side of a social media platform so that it reaches more people see it, the risk you have is it becomes flooded with stuff that's of less interest to the people who were there before.
I see more toxicity on LinkedIn than any other platform.
Where 3 years ago you'd have said Facebook and Twitter, maybe 5 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
When people are using LinkedIn to, well, like you say, it's a free country, it's a free platform, talk about what you want. I'm not precious about it. But when you have people talking about Ukraine or COVID or Brexit, whatever it might be, there seems to be very little tolerance for other people's opinions. And I just see more of that anger coming through on LinkedIn than on Facebook. I'm sure it goes on Facebook. And of course you can pick, I've disconnected from a few people, as I'm sure you have. But when you see people saying, I think the war in Ukraine is wrong, what do you think? And the poll saying yes or no, it's like, holy fuck.
So
is that what LinkedIn has come down to?
I can explain that in a way that's probably not PC, but don't really care, in the sense that Facebook realised this, and because Facebook have come under serious fire for some of the things they've allowed on their platform, and rightly so in some cases. But basically, as soon as you make a platform pay to play, so you restrict the reach of organic stuff, a lot of these dickheads disappear because they are not willing to put money behind their opinion.
Fucking, that's a good point. That is, Joel. That's a sound point.
Yeah.
And I don't compliment you often.
Thanks.
Never looked at it like that. Fucking hell, that's
So how valuable is someone's opinion? You'll know by how much they're willing to spend on it.
I'm staggered by that. But I should know that because we did a test on something we were giving away versus putting a little bit of cost in the way. And surprise, surprise, just putting a couple of quid in the way can make a big difference in the quality of people it attracts. Not saying, of course, we're not saying people with more money are better. It's saying there are some people out there who refuse.
Yeah, so this is a
a
massive takeaway. If you're not quite sure what Andy's talking about here, let's say you've got a free lead magnet and you use that in your business to drive people into your funnel. And the reason it's free is it's the top of the funnel. So you want to get as many people as you can in the top of the funnel and then squeeze them down into the people who are qualified. Mm-hmm. However, the quality of what you put in at the top obviously has an impact on the quality of what comes out at the bottom, regardless of what you think. So there are marketing people out there that would say, get as many people as you can in at the top and use your funnel to filter them out. That's not true. It's partly true. But what would be better is, let's say you've got a lead magnet that's very valuable to the audience, but you charge £1 for it. I guarantee you the people in your funnel are more likely to buy from you, even if you're a ridiculously high price point, purely because they were willing to go and find their card details and go through the time transaction of buying that lead magnet. Now, don't get me wrong, we've got clients with free lead magnets because sometimes, particularly if you're not targeting the decision maker, you just need to get that person in your funnel and start serving them your message. Mm-hmm. But if you're selling to the decision maker or to the end consumer, and it isn't just about exposure and education, it is about how quickly can I get this person from into the funnel to customer, better off having a £1, £2 tripwire just to see what they're made of.
Yeah. Really never considered that with LinkedIn because it's been bugging me, and at times I've got to be, yes, I said I'm not precious about it. I have been precious about it. When people post saying, I know this isn't Facebook, but I start to post it on Facebook then. I wish there could be more business-related content on there, but again, free country, free platform. But that free-for-all toxicity and disrespect for other people's opinions But I was saying, yeah, who changed their mind because of something somebody wrote on social media? Like, I'm conservative, and then someone berates you and starts saying why Labour's are much better. Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna vote Labour now. So why have you just wasted an entire evening trying to get your point across with no measurable outcome at the end, apart from the fact you just wasted an evening?
Yeah. And polls are, in our game, polls are massive, aren't they? Because essentially, these people are willing to engage. I can spark a conversation. But they've also become a bit of a horror, where it's like...
Do you like Marmite?
Yeah.
I'm sure I saw someone post
Mars or Snickers.
Yeah, clickbait. I mean, totally digress now, but yeah, that point you made there, massive.
Yeah, and you sort of you've got to know your audience as well. So that's that. Like, if you're going to post a poll, you've got to be smart about it. So, in the fitness industry, you might post, "Are you more concerned about diet or exercise?" And then the poll's relevant because I need to send them on my nutrition funnel. I need to send them on my personal training funnel. Makes sense. If you run a marketing agency, which we see all the time, and it's like Batman or Superman, fuck off. Like, just...
Yeah.
Right. Give me some context. So it's like, who do you think would be better at running an ad campaign, Batman or Superman? Well, that's a weird question. Then they answer, and you're like, we think it's because he's really good at blah, 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 blah. You can bring relevance into it. But the people don't. They're lazy.
Wow. Maybe that... Do you think laziness has anything to do with that wish to be a generalist? Or is it more boredom? The fact that, right, I'm killing Facebook ads now. Brilliant. So I'm going to start working on improving my SEO knowledge.
Mm. I think it's that fear of being bad at something. So, and I have that. Like, here's something I shouldn't admit. I don't play board games with my wife, and she thinks it's because I'm boring. Where the reality is, I know that brings out a side of me that I don't want to introduce into our house. I am too bad a loser, take things way too seriously.
Like Monica in Friends.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I don't want to put myself in that headspace. So I don't want to play a board. I'll play a card game or something, but if you say, should we play Risk? And 6 hours later the house has been turned upside down. Was it worth it? I mean, yes, I've conquered the map, but I'm probably divorced and the dog's gone too. So it's that kind of like, put your focus in the right place, not just go in with, like, it's ego driven, isn't it? So, like, for a business owner, it's very tricky when, like, let's say us, we know we're good at Facebook ads, as we should be. But my ego's saying to me, well, I know Andy does the copywriting a lot in the business and he coaches the team in copywriting, but you're a good copywriter, Joel. Why don't you have a go? Well, no, because my focus isn't needed there. I should focus on where my focus is most needed for the success of the business or the success of the relationship or whatever it is. And your ego is always chipping at you, sort of saying, but you could be a bit better at that.
I remember years and years ago when we started doing Google ads, how I wanted to know everything about Google ads. And I was I'd say at a very good level with Facebook ads. But I was like, no, I can't go down this rabbit hole. I've got people in the team who are much better positioned than me to focus on Google ads. And I remember having a meeting with a prospect, and he was talking about Google ads, and he started asking me questions, and I'd say, no, let me stop you there. We do Google ads as a company, but that ain't my cup of tea. I've got someone in the team there. And he was like, how Google ads is part of what you offer in terms of digital marketing. How can you not know about Google ads? It's like, no, I know how they work, and I know why they can work, and how to test and measure them. But you've got any technical questions, I'm not your man. My job is to oversee the results, not to do the day-to-day. And that, oh God, it took me a long time to get my head around that, because I was like, oh shit, this guy thinks I should know everything about marketing.
So I had this chat with Rob Moore on a previous podcast, Disruptive Entrepreneur, name drop.
How is Rob?
Don't know. Haven't asked him recently. And he was saying he knows how to do pretty much a rough idea of how to do everything in his business, but the devil is in the detail, and
He ain't got time.
he hasn't got time for that. Yeah, he can't. So it's not that he's not above it. He knows pretty much how every role works, and if he put his mind to it, he could do it.
Oh God, absolutely, yeah.
But it's where is his focus best spent? So we talk about £10, £100, £1,000 tasks. Well, if 90% of Rob Moore's day is not on £1,000 tasks, he's not just failing himself, he's failing his employees, he's failing his family. And that's kind of what I'm getting at here, is that as the business owner, the temptation is to sort of make sure everything is bang on. But why don't you, if you focused all your energy on the three things that would make the most impact, imagine what it would do. Whereas imagine how draining it would be if you tried to be great at everything.
Oh, you go crazy. But like I say, you mentioned three things there, and I think that is also important. Like if you're talking about marketing and you're rocking your Facebook ads, for example, you still don't want to put all your eggs in one basket alone, because say you fall foul of Facebook somehow and they cancel your ad account, suddenly you're fucked.
Yeah.
So you need a few pillars holding up your business, but again, you can't be excellent at absolutely everything. So maybe it is right, Facebook ads, Google ads, and email marketing, for example. It's like the old days where you used to have, or well, not you, some people used to have all the social media icons across their business card, because they were on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on LinkedIn, they were on Pinterest, and probably some others I've missed. Whereas now we still get asked what social media platforms should I be on. Bebo, bloody hell. It's like the answer is be good at two of them rather than trying to dilute yourself across all of them. Whereas I'd say a lot of business owners we speak to now, they are on all of them. Oh, you're on Twitter, are you? Let me have a look. Right, you last tweeted 2 months ago, so what's the point of that? You've done more harm than good. Someone sees that you're on Twitter, they go and check out your Twitter profile, see that you last posted 2 months ago, they'll go off to someone else.
Where's the best place to follow you?
Instagram.
There's a little plug.
So LinkedIn, the past 2 months, I probably posted maybe once or twice a week, shared Codebreak's LinkedIn page content. That has made no discernible difference to our business, but whereas I invested more time in my Instagram, that has made a discernible difference in terms of inquiries and, to be honest, engaging with people who are interested in us and engaging with people who are already customers.
And engaging with people who are influential within our industry.
Yeah.
We built this up from scratch, and we're in a fortunate position now where we can, invite some heavy hitters on the podcast, go for meetings with some cool people, and
I mean that won't be right for everyone.
That's been
don't get me
through
wrong.
focus.
I mean, some people, LinkedIn could be the way forward for them. But what I'm saying is that doesn't mean you have to do loads of LinkedIn, loads of Instagram, loads of tweeting,
No.
loads of Facebooking. If LinkedIn works for you, great. But do you know LinkedIn works for you?
Yeah.
Do you know Facebook works for you? Do you think because you spend 2 hours a day on your Facebook, okay, show me the numbers. What are the measurables? Oh, well, I reach this many people. Okay, how many customers does that bring you in? Well, I don't know. So what's the fucking point then? How many existing customers has it retained? Well, I don't know. So what's the fucking point then? And those measurables in terms of organic social media are crucial, which is why the solution to most social media problems are do ads better. Don't focus so much on, my posts, how many times a day should I be posting? Oh, Joel, what I read that if you post at 9:17 in the evening in the week now, that's the best time to post.
And that's such a key point, that if you're an impatient business owner, as most of us are, organic's not going to be for you.
Not all of us, Joel.
So, I mean, I've got an organic content plan for my personal social media. You've got an organic content plan for your personal social media. But that's a long-term strategy. If you want impact right now, your focus has got to be in some sort of paid advertising. It could be social media, could be Google, could be print. But
yeah, I'm okay. I've been okay recently after a long time of saying to people the secret to social media success is to rock your social media ads. where so many people, and maybe it's the point you made earlier about, well, social media is free, so I need to extract as much as I can from all the organic posts. So don't get me wrong, organic posting is important, and of course you can earn money and make sales through organic posting. But when you're there going, I'm posting 5 times a day, I read that Thursday lunchtimes are now the best, blah, blah, blah. Okay, how much are you spending on your ads? Nothing. Well, I can make your social media work for you better pretty much overnight if you give me an ad budget.
And something we were talking about the other day, about the value of impressions. So some people in our game for sure talk about reaching impressions like it's the best thing ever. And it means nothing to a business if that business isn't seeing more inquiries or more business. But let's say you are an avid organic social media poster. So 7 days a week and you've got a bit of a content plan. So maybe on a Monday you do something relatable, like walking your dog. Tuesday, it's all business hacks. Wednesday, it's some soothsayer wisdom, a quote. Thursday, it's a little video. Friday, it's a link to your podcast, let's say. Look at the last 6 months of data and look at the posts that perform the best. Now, the temptation for a lot of business owners would to be then to go and put money behind the ones that didn't perform to get their reach up. Actually, the opposite of that is true. You should put the money behind the ones that resonated the most because they'll go through the roof. And so few people are doing that. So, we post about our podcast a lot. And if one hits hard, we'll go and boost it so it hits even more. And we don't use the boost feature, but that was just a turn of phrase.
Don't boost posts.
Because
don't again.
Because we can look at the
there are better alternatives to boosting posts.
So we can look at the insights, see, right, okay, well this one's really resonated with women between this age and this age. Why don't we put some budget to target business women between that age and that age and see what happens? And near enough every time that's a massive thing to smash your posts out of the park.
I'd say there are very few businesses, small businesses, that enjoy social media success by organic content alone. They're out there, don't get me wrong, but chances are they're spending money on ads. Even though you think, oh wow, these guys, their organic content's pretty nailed. Generally speaking, if they are making money through social media, it's because they're spending a shitload of money. On social media ads.
There's a couple of niches out there that can do it organically, and I wouldn't even need to say, and I'm sure the listeners would be able to figure out what those niches are, because you see them everywhere. But if you're basically not in that world, there is going to be some level of spend required to get the traction you need to make your social media a profitable investment.
So, if someone is rocking Facebook, if we're talking organically, and they're rocking LinkedIn, they're rocking Facebook organically, and they're doing all right on LinkedIn. Are you saying, well, spend money on Facebook ads then and make your Facebook even better?
Yeah, 100%. Just bin your LinkedIn, if that was the case. I mean, I think it is important you have multiple pillars. You can't just put all your eggs in one basket. But if the same content on LinkedIn just isn't ringing with the audience like it is on Facebook, chances are either you're connected with the wrong people on LinkedIn or it's not the platform for you. So why wouldn't you double down on what's already working? And it's really interesting the tactics you can use there in terms of, well, I know that Facebook only lets my posts reach between 2 and 8% of the people that follow my page, let's say. This post has gone really well, so if I put money behind it, imagine how many more people it will reach and how many more followers we'll get so that the next post gets more traction. And yet so many people are running their sort of paid advertising and their organic as separate entities. They're like two separate things.
Oh, okay. And what would you say about a phrase we talk about here is like round pegs and square holes when it comes to people you're working with? About, everyone has different skill sets. And sometimes, obviously, depending on the position, you need a number of different skill sets. No point being an accountant if you're
Crap at numbers.
well. There we go. Yeah, crap at numbers. Marketing, I suppose, you need specialists now. But do you think there comes a point in someone's life where, listen, they're good at this kind of stuff, they're never going to be good at this kind of stuff? Like, I don't know, someone's just not going to be good at the number side of the business, for example. Or someone is just copywriting. That's a massive part of what we do. Do you think there comes a point where, yeah, this Bob, he's got great copywriter potential, we should work on him. And Sue, no, she's never going to make it as a copywriter. We should focus her energy on another aspect of marketing.
I think so. I think on like a really strictly business basis, if you've got somebody who's a low tier employee, so they're on a low salary, you can afford to invest more time in them trying to teach them a new skill to see what they're good at. Doesn't really matter what age they are, because I don't think age is a factor so much with technology anymore. You know, the amount of silver surfers out there that are really good at crypto, it kind of blows my mind. So they've obviously learnt it somewhere. But it's that's okay. If you've got someone on 30 grand, 40 grand, who's an ad specialist, and suddenly they take an interest in copywriting, you've got a problem, because you're paying them to be a specialist at a very specific thing, and they're now saying, oh, I'm interested in this. So it's not just a money thing, it's not just a productivity thing, it's a mentality thing. Their head's been turned, and oh, well, I did like ads, but not so much anymore. And it's, well, I'm paying you to do ads. And you have to take that approach with yourself too. Like, business owners, so easy to be a bit of a magpie and go on to the next shiny thing. So let's say, I don't know, you're really good at processes and system management, so the team would always know what to do. There's no doubt about it. And then one day you decide, actually, I'd like to be closer to the team. I'm interested in HR. And then one day something goes wrong and no one knows what to do, because you've spent the last 4 weeks focusing on team building exercises and HR. Was that the best use of your time, or should you have brought someone external in to do that, and you carried on keeping on top of the systems and processes? And I think, yeah, so for me it's a pay grade thing. People who are trainees or apprentices, they need a taste of everything to decide what they're good at and to decide what they like. That's important too. And then you channel them. If you want a generalist, you know, if let's say you want a marketing exec who can do a bit of everything, that's okay, but expect them to lose focus and expect to lose them as an employee at some point.
So I'm seeing a lot of virtual assistants out there now. Obviously, awesome business. Lots of businesses need a VA, and they do some bookkeeping. They do a bit of payroll. A lot of them now do some social media management. Some of them do a bit of advertising. And suddenly, you know, and it can be an attractive proposition. It's just like, blimey, I'm paying this person like, you know, a couple of £100 a month, and they're doing like all this stuff for me. But I suspect the quality of that work
isn't the standard
isn't where you need it to be.
So obviously it depends on what you're paying your VA, but I'd argue a VA exists to take £10 tasks off your desk. They don't exist to take the £100 tasks off your desk. And if they're doing the £100 tasks, you've got a problem, because someone else should be better suited to that. And if it's not internal, there'll be someone you can outsource to, be it freelance or agency. And then £1,000 tasks, if you're outsourcing your £1,000 tasks, you've got a real issue, because that's your specialism. And if you're and I know that there's businesses out there where essentially they've built it without knowing a thing about the thing that they do, but they're few and far between.
Yeah. Blimey. So, I mean, you mentioned social media in terms of the posting and stuff. I bet there's a lot of business owners out there, not saying there's right or wrong, who might think that's a £10 an hour task. But there are other business owners out there who think social media posting, no, holy shit, that's a £100 an hour task. And it's like sometimes you will see people advertising, they're recruiting, and they're looking for a receptionist / marketer.
Yeah.
plumber slash marketer. Well, sort of straight away that tells me where they value investing.
You see it. You see it. Receptionist slash bookkeeper, don't you? It's not just marketing. You see dental hygienist slash receptionist. It's like,
and you guarantee that those people are unlikely to be spending money on an ad budget.
yeah,
That means do a few Facebook posts a week, and fingers crossed that will drive some inquiries. And as a rough rule of thumb, you want to be looking at investing 10% of your turnover into your ad budget,
yeah.
and do the maths to make sure, right, okay, for every £1 I spend, it makes me £10.
Well,
that's the holy grail,
and that's another reason to do more of what you're good at. Spend the money in the area where it'll have the most impact, because the money's finite.
Then it becomes so marketing then becomes a question of maths, doesn't it? You test and measure, so we've got a client, and we know for them to shift a £2,000 product, including our fees, it costs them £70. So ad budget, our time and experience, £70, I make £2,000.
So there's listeners screaming right now saying, well, surely they go and find as many £70 as they can.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
And it will blow your mind, listeners, that there are people out there that just won't scale beyond a point. They will, so they're quite happy selling 5 or 6 of these things a month, and that's your lot. And I reckon they could quadruple that before it plateaued.
Which is why we can't work with them, because I'm just looking at a copy of our book now across on the shelf, Stay Hungry, which is the hashtag we use everywhere. And it's fine, because some people, they aren't hungry enough, they want that lifestyle business, and that's fine. It just, well, they're not people we can help.
So, on that note, talk to me about hungry business owners that want to learn the marketing that sells formula.
Oh, how long have you got? So, if you haven't read our book, Stay Hungry, Marketing That Sells is our formula, our 10-step formula to get results from your marketing. Mm-hmm. We see a lot of people, I want to be more visible. What does that mean? I want to reach more people. What does that mean? I want more likes. Well, likes don't put food on the table. So we're talking about getting a visible and measurable return for your marketing. So downloading our book is a good start. I would suggest the best place to start is to hop onto our website and arrange a call back so we can have a chat. And we will speak to you, find out about your goals, and find out how hungry you are. Because sometimes it's just good to talk to people and find out how hungry are you, because you might not know. You might think, I want to be a super successful entrepreneur, I want this. But when it actually comes down to it, you don't. You want a bit of pin money so you can spend more time with your loved ones, whatever it might be. And I've got to be honest, those can be hard conversations, because some people, I think, are not as hungry as they thought they were.
Yeah, and I guess a cool way of looking at it is not every business comes to us to grow their profits. Some business owners come to us to grow their time. So they make the same amount of money as they did before, but in half the amount of time, because of smart marketing, automation, things like that.
Time is the currency of life.
So it's having a lifestyle business, that's fine. And you can still be hungry, because you're hungry to get more from your time. But you've got to be hungry for something. You can't.
Yeah, if every time I gave you £10, you gave me £100 back, but I've, for whatever reason, I've got a budget of £100. So once I've given you 10 lots of £10, that's your lot. It's like, that's madness. Surely you just keep giving me the £10, because I'll keep giving you £100 back every time.
Yeah.
And it's quite surprising that not all business owners think like that. But again, that's fine, but I'd question how hungry you are, because growing a business has to be, in this day and age, about scalability. You can't just hustle and hustle and hustle. You've got to be able to make sure that, like you say, you can become more profitable in less amount of time, invest back into your business, employ staff, or if you don't want to employ staff, outsource, work smarter, and just fucking enjoy life.
Predictability and scalability in all areas of life.
Yeah, that's why absolutely. It's, in the previous podcast we talked about this, which we believe is misplaced obsession with work-life balance. It isn't about balance. It's about harmony. It's about being present. So, I must work 20 hours a day. Well, maybe better off working 4 hours a day, but work 4 hours uninterrupted, your phone locked away, so you can properly fucking focus on those income generating tasks.
Oh, he's on it today, guys.
Oh,
if you want to hear
stop me now.
more of Andy's dulcet tones, visit andyandjoel.com, where you'll see our brand new marketing and mindset coaching service. By popular demand, because lots of people who don't necessarily need their marketing done for them have been asking us, can we teach them our ways? And Andy's up for it. So yeah, get in touch.
See you soon, guys.